Hi friends, I'm Dinesh Oza back again with another episode on Inspirational Goal Sheet. Inspirational Goal Sheet, which is meant to enhance our performance, workplace performance on continuous basis. So today we have someone who has been into this and is field of HR since more than 27 years, and I know him since long. And I feel that he's a right person to uh, understand, learn from him, and get his experience on how to achieve our goal sheet, or rather, inspirational goal sheet to ensure that we perform on continuous basis in whichever company or whichever industry we work. So I'll not waste more time. I'll not take more time from you. Straight away, let us go to Mr. Manish Rathod. Before we go to Manish Rathod, I will just give few words about him. Uh, well, I know him since long, and only one word which I have is that he's very grounded kind of person, and he has worked on various functions in HR, right from learning and development, and right now he's also involved in employee performance review. So that's why I say that he is the right person to learn and understand about inspirational goal sheet. Yeah. So, Mr. Manish, thank you very much, Manish, sir, for
Well,
investing your time. It's a pleasure to have you here in this episode.
it's a pleasure to meet an old friend again.
Thank you. Thanks. Nice to meet you once again. So you can see from the smile, my dear friends, that we actually feel that camaraderie when we meet each other, right? Manish bhai?
Definitely, all
Okay. So Manish bhai, you know that these days I talk a lot on inspirational bullshit, and these episodes are more directed towards uh, helping employee community as a whole to learn and to live a balanced life. I now have my vision wherein I want to help employees to live life full of joy, which is full of achievements and full of actions. That's right. And that's why I promoted this concept called inspirational bullshit. So, what is your take? What is your saying, or what do you feel when we talk about term which is called inspirational bullshit?
So I'll go. I take inspirational bullshit as an upgraded version, but
Hmm.
I see, people how they talk first about the bullshit.
Okay.
Now, why? Unless somebody understand why we have a bullshit.
Hmm.
So if I give an example in layman, I pay 100 rupees to an employee to do 100 rupees job.
Right. Yeah.
Now I will keep on paying him 100 rupees. He'll keep on doing 100 rupees job forever.
Right.
And I can match up the whatever dearness allows government announces.
Yeah.
I'll give on. What is that in the store for the employee?
Okay.
So unless the employee grows, and
Hmm.
to help employee grow is not an sole responsibility of an employer. It is employee who also has to take that onus on him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I as an employee, if I have to grow, what is that goal sheet have in store for me?
Hmm.
Anything which I can do value addition.
Okay. Yeah.
The whether that goal sheet excites me, inspires me,
Okay.
to do something new is something employee has to ask himself.
Absolutely.
That
Right.
introspection is very good, and then
Yeah.
inspirational goal sheet will help you to decide short term goal,
Right.
plan for it,
Okay.
take action,
Uh-huh.
and measure it. Simple,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
applicable in any other action for that matter will also apply to the inspirational goal sheet.
Absolutely.
So employee has to, for me, inspirational goal sheet is that in order to align myself more closely
Hmm.
or to do a value addition, that is working for more than that 100 rupee, going that
That
extra
is
mile of 20 rupee by
yeah. Yeah.
doing a extra innovative or inspirational work for that 20 rupee
Hmm.
would inspire me.
Right.
And at the
Right.
same time, employer gives him the space
Hmm.
to go for that extra mile. Is inspirational goal sheet for me.
That's good. That's why, friends, I told, I know Manishi has worked on a ground level, and that's why he's talking about inspirational goal sheet in a rupee terms. That's really because that is what excites employee, right? So wonderful insight, Manishi, and very nicely explained in rupee terms. Yeah. So when you are talking about value addition, when you are talking about excitement, when you are talking about going extra mile, so how do you and what an employee should do to be specific, what actions or what concepts you should follow so that he is not only working on inspirational goal sheet, but he is also able to achieve the targets, which he has set in his inspirational goal sheet. So, any idea?
So probably as an HR professional, my straight answer would be that you have not only plan B, you have plan C, D, E, F, whatever alphabet you have in ABCD.
Right.
So I have in my short-term goal as short as 1 day,
Okay.
then weekly, and then
Okay.
fortnightly. So even if I fail a 1 day or a weekly goal, somehow I'm not able to achieve, I still have backup.
Right.
And I can work towards 15 days. The moment I achieved a 15-day goal, I would cover those 1 day and a week into it. That's how I see it. Into for an employee, it is very important to have a various short-term goals. Now, not only having a short-term goals, only a desire to have something, quote unquote, that I want to achieve something.
Right.
You have to plan for that. How would you do that? Do you need an extra coaching? Do you need a mentoring? Do you need a buddy? Now I'm talking about something which is on the ground reality. So when I hire a fresher, I ensure that he has a mentor, he has a buddy, who takes him through that entire first year of operations, so that he is settled in the system. And then he can think that, okay, at one point of time I was GT, now I wanted to become an ex-engineer.
Oh, right.
So that's right. That plan of action and then execution is very important. I mean, a plan of action, mere plan of action is just a eye wash. I call it an eye wash. I mean, just for the sake of, feel good factor, मैं ये बनूंगा, मैं ये करूंगा, does not work unless I have a concrete backup plan that, okay, if I have to go in that direction, do I need an extra theoretical knowledge? Do I need a on-the-job training? Do I need a pat on the back even will work on that matter.
Absolutely. That's
so whether I need whether I need to qualify on my R&R system, so then people take cognizance of my good work, which I am doing. Right. So once I qualify, I will also get motivated. I'll get inspired. This is how these 3 steps are very important. So most important is the measurement of it. Measurement of success. So if I wanted to go from place A to B, whether I have reached close to B or I am on a midway, is something employee has to do an honest measurement of.
Very true.
The journey he has traveled during that period. So that's how I see these 4 steps are very important for any employee, for irrespective of industry. You go to BFSI, then they will talk about in terms of revenue. You go into the manufacturing, they talk in the terms of production quantity, safety. You go into the IT industry, talk about the quality. You go into even a government industry, they talk about certain parameters to meet, do not violate government rules is one of the key areas.
Okay. So because, sorry friends, I did not mention the experience he had. When Manishji is talking about various industry, let me tell that he has not worked only in manufacturing. He has been into BFSI sector, right? He has been into government regulatory kind of things also, and he also has been into IT industry. So that's why when he's talking about all these industries, I think one thing which you mentioned, 2 things rather, planning and measuring remains same everywhere, whether it is IT or whether it is and manufacturing, right? So see, we are all human beings, right? And when you're talking about planning, when you're talking about plan A, B, C, D, you also mentioned about mentoring. If I want to achieve something, I should have a requisite skill for that, and there has to be someone who should teach me, right? And not only that, I should also be measuring it, which is very important, right? So there are 2 things which I want to know. A, what do you think, people are doing and they must be doing to ensure that measurement, the concept of measurement, the attitude towards continuous measurement on what am I doing, what have I planned, is going on right now? What is the trend? What people do and what they should be doing?
I think very important is expose yourself.
Okay.
Now, exposing yourself to a real life situation is one of the best yardstick, because then you get an instant feedback.
Right.
Okay. So I have worked with some of the finest engineers, software engineers, who also wanted to try their hands into training. Okay. So not only I have trained them under train the train program, but I have given them the training programs.
Okay.
That please go and deliver the training program. Now you will understand how deep the sea is.
Right.
If you can swim across,
that is great.
That's great. Otherwise, somebody will definitely save you. But you know how more important is for you to learn swimming into a swimming pool and swimming into a sea
is different.
Is a two different ball game. Yeah. So you should know how difficult it is to swim into a salted water than the sweet water. But unless you expose yourself into a salted water, you will never understand the techniques which is required to do. So very important is for anybody to understand, or sharpen their skills or measuring how they have achieved till now is to expose themselves.
Absolutely.
And maybe you can expose to a close knitted group, your own people who can give you an honest feedback.
Okay.
And then you go back. Somebody has told Superman that this is how it can be, you can fly.
Fly, yeah.
He didn't know. Right. So a mentor would be there who will tell you that yes, you can fly. Yeah. And then they can fly, always fly.
Absolutely.
We all have heard of story of deaf frog.
Yeah.
They say that you cannot come out of the glass. Since he could not listen to it.
Right. You will remain there.
He kept on attempting it, but he jumped out of glass someday. So same day, you also have to sometimes become adept the unwanted criticism.
Okay.
And take on the positive feedback with you.
Right. Yeah.
That means if you have to work that extra mile to correct your area, I don't never use negative word like shortcomings or weakness. I always say wherever you have to work on area of improvement. Absolutely. Work towards it based on feedback. Right. Go back to them that I have now worked. I want to demonstrate once again.
Right.
Give me that opportunity, and then you keep on doing it. And only practice will make you a master of anything, nothing else.
Absolutely.
So this is what something is very important for you to measure your achievement or measure your journey or your sharpening yourself is exposing yourself to the real world life situations. Absolutely. Not into a simulations kind of thing.
Simulations are only made out of fixed parameters. Very wonderfully you mentioned about swimming in the sea, in the salty water. You actually get to know that how it works. What am I? What are the different techniques I have to deploy to ensure that I reach to my destination? And something similar is there in corporate world also, because
absolutely.
When you jump into a sea, you never know what is going to be the weather. In the similar way, when you are in the corporate world, you never know how the business is going, where is the market going on. So very wonderful example. And as you rightly mentioned, that measurement through exposure, that's a very good, kind of idiom.
Rather, I would like to add here is that more important again is even if I wanted to have an inspirational goal sheet and wanted to achieve something, whether even my end goal is aligned with the value of the business.
That is important.
Because in isolation, even if I become a master of something, if it is not adding value into business, is of no value. So I need to align my desires, my dreams, my goals to the business value, to the role which I am doing.
Absolutely right.
And it should add value to the people I am working with, to the business I am working with.
I mean, that is what you initially told, that an inspirational goal sheet should add value, right?
Absolutely.
And this value addition should be, to individual, to function, to department, and even to the business ecosystem also.
I wanted to play guitar, but will it add value if I learn guitar today?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, see, your inputs, your actions should lead to adding value to the business which you are into. And business is all about adding value. You cannot remain stagnant. And if any business is all about growth, and growth comes only after value addition. So that's why you rightly mentioned that, inspirational goal sheet is all about adding value.
And again, as you rightly mentioned, that since the business grows, the dynamics changes. Business dynamics changes, market dynamics changes. So you also have to evolve your inspirational goal sheet continuously.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Because then by the time you achieve a goal, probably the requirement of value addition is changed. Of course, you have learned, you have grown as a person, but where you will practice that skill, what do you acquire?
Right.
Because now dynamics has changed.
And so that's why, I very much promote the concept of learning agility in my training. I've talked about this when I talked with another friend of ours. You would be knowing Nishan very well.
Yes.
So we also talked about that, there is something which is agility is very much important these days. And when you mentioned that, in turbulent sea, you have to be agile. A swimmer has to be highly agile, right? And he becomes agile when he learns how the waves are coming, what is the frequency, what is the height, and all those things. So that is what goes into this also. So it was really nice, Maneshji. You gave some of the very profound insights into how an employee can achieve inspiration goal sheet, why he should be adding inspiration goal sheet. So before we end, any message you have for employee community which will help them to achieve their dream, professional, uh, goals or whatever you call it, right? So any message from your side?
So my straight, plain vanilla message, because I come from a different school of thought.
Yeah.
I always prefer to talk straight instead of having a sugar coated capsule. So my idea is to, and my suggestion is to all the people who are working in any industry for that matter, please ensure that goal sheet is not created by the organization to measure your whether you are pass or fail. It is created to give you a steering wheel, is given in your hand, how you want to steer your career. How better you steer it, whether you want to go off-road, whether you want to go on-road, you wanted to go to Ladakh, your call. But you will have to manage, you have to maneuver your vehicle in a way that you do not put anybody down. Everybody is safe. And your inspiration has to be in line of the business expectations. So my expectation next year is suppose growth over 10% in terms of revenue. I, as an HR professional, cannot generate revenue. So how do I do? I say rupee saved is rupee earned.
Oh, absolutely. That's
so some of the unwanted costs, if I come down, I have increased the revenue of the organization. That's how, if you see, goal sheet is not a burden. Goal sheet is your own parameter to steer your career. That's all.
So goal sheet is actually an asset.
It's an asset for an employee, not an organization.
Yeah. So friends, it was really wonderful interacting with Mr. Manish Rathod, and I'm sure that with this interaction, you would have got not little but too much of insight into how we should be working on a continuous basis to perform beyond expectation. That is all about inspiration. Thank you very much. Thanks, Manishji.
Thank you.
Very
Pleasure
much
talking
for
to
your
you.
time.
Always.
Same here.
Thank you, everyone.